Station. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vanita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Anita Ramya from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call.
We are ready, Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavata, Madhya khanda, chapter 3, 121 to 127 verses. Before I hand over the call to Prabhu, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today, 27th September. Guru and Krishna are two parallel lines on which spiritual express runs smoothly. Letter to Devananda, September 27th, 1967. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavat. I see today's topic about Nityananda. Your background shows us. We are eagerly waiting to hear it, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, and Dandavats to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. All of you are senior to me, so please accept my humble obeisances, and I'm begging you for your mercy. At the outset, very happy to be here once again, and thank the organizers of Bhakti Sangha Japa Group, Priti Vilasini Mataji, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, and many others in the background who are doing a stellar work of bringing various different speakers to churn again and again on the beautiful topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. This is truly nectarian to our ears, our existence, and at the same point of time, this is making us walk, crawl, or sometimes even run at the fastest pace towards the Lord. So this is very excellent work. So I'd like to first of all thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity on one of the most wonderful, auspicious week that we can ever think of. What a wonderful week this is. We are coming from the celebrations of Janmashtami, moving into Radhashtami, and from there moving into the spiritual holy name week, where we saw the beautiful Ekadashi, and then slowly moving to Vamana Dwadashi, appearance of Jiva Goswami, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Haridas Thakur, his appearance, Ananta Chaturdashi. I mean, the stellar lineup can be no better. So I consider myself very fortunate that during such wonderful, wonderful moments, which is filled every second with such a great opportunity, I've been given something to speak today. So before I speak, I'm just like a small bumblebee trying to glorify Lord Nityananda today, and in the process trying to glorify a part of Jiva Goswami as well as Vamana Dev. So I consider myself like a small bumblebee which is trying to scale up and down the Meru mountain. This is something which is not possible. But today also is the day, at least where I stay, is also the day of Vamana Dwadashi. But today is the day of gigantic proportions, where one who is small has to scale up and do gigantic activities, which is Lord Vamandev, Urukrama. And hence taking inspiration from there, and also the blessings of all our previous acharyas, especially Jiva Goswami, who also scaled up to gigantic proportions in his work. I would like to start this narration on Caitanya Bhagavat. So starting with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yaktapatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityanandam Aham Naumi Sarvananda Karamparam Harinama Pradam Devam Avadhuta Shiromanim. So I welcome each and everyone to this session of Chaitanya Bhagavat. We are currently reading Chaitanya Bhagavat, the Shabdasara commentary of His Holiness Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, Goswami Srila Prabhupada. We are currently in the third chapter of Madhya Leela, and we have been given from text number 120 to 127, if I'm not wrong. So there are 7 verses today that we will try to cover. So let's first start. There's a glorious descriptions and entry that we are going to talk about. So text number 120. Ei mate vrindavane vaise nityananda Navadvipe prakasha haila gaura chandra. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu resided in Vrindavana, while in Navadvip, Gaurachandra revealed himself. While Lord Nityananda was wandering in Vrindavan, Gaur Sundar Mahaprabhu manifested his identity in Navadvip. This is such a beautiful verse. While at the outset, it might look like it is a verse where it is a very simple verse where 2 narrations are being said. Nityananda Prabhu is residing in Vrindavan. Navadvip Gaurachandra has revealed himself. He has appeared and he is revealed himself. However, this kind of narration needs a commentary. The narration which is out here is so beautiful, which is a comparative narration. It's a comparative narration in terms of the 2 timelines which is happening at 2 different places. We might have been seeing in the movies, while one parallel activity is going where in some part of the planet, if the director of the movie needs to show what is happening on the other side of the city or other side of the world, then the screen immediately cuts into 2, and then you get to see a simultaneous movement of both the characters at the same given point of time. So this is very beautiful way of narration. So we get to know the global perspective of something which is happening with their lordships. And this kind of narration is not new. We see in the very first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the very first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if you think that you are carrying a camera with you and you are entering the battlefield, The very first chapters are very clearly mentioning the universal aspect of the Bhagavad Gita, of how it is significant. In fact, the very first verse showcases this dimension. And the very first verse, the first two words itself showcases this dimension. Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre. In the Dharmakshetre, so if you imagine this to be one part of the palette of the screen, where dharma is being upheld, and the other part is Kurukshetra, which is also a Dharmakshetra, but where physically both the armies are assembled. And then the camera zooms into Duryodhan and his conversations with Drona and others, and how he tosses and turns in his conversation, how he meanders his conversation in terms of political accuracy. At the same point of time, he would like to have a win in the war on that day. So we see that tossing and turning, but suddenly we see the shloka, Senaro yubhayor matye ratam sthapito Arjuna, Achyuta. So we see that immediately the camera pans towards a great chariot, and there the Lord is seated on the chariot. Arjuna is on the chariot. It has the horses. It has a beautiful flag on the top where Hanuman is sitting on the top. And this is a great chariot which has been given by Agni, and so many descriptions are given. And the panning of the camera, if we look through the shlokas, is also not from top to down. It is from bottom to top. As if a hero's entry, the real hero of the war, Arjuna, but then it is going to be Krishna. Right from the shoes, his seated place, his lotus face, the passenger of the chariot, the flagstaff of the chariot, everything is being mentioned. So this contrast of moving away from Duryodhan to Krishna is also seen out there in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in a very similar light, though here it is not from Duryodhan to Krishna, it is about the Lord to the Lord. Such a beautiful nectarian movement. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we see that the first few verses are dry and political accuracy is being mentioned. And there is no rasa. But as soon as Krishna enters and the devotees enter, there is full bliss in those shlokas. But if we compare those movement of those shlokas with the movement that we have here today, it is so blissful because it starts with Nityananda Prabhu residing in Vrindavan. And while he is residing in Vrindavan, the other side, Gaurachandra, has revealed himself. And this is very, very important to understand that Gaura and Nitai, they cannot be separated. They are eternally coming in every yuga as brothers. As brothers. They come as Ram, Lakshman. They come as Krishna and Balaram. And they have such a brotherly bond between them. But however, one of the devotees once asked, if they are brothers, why are they not real brothers? Then the question was asked, why do you ask so? Because we see that they are brothers, they act like brothers, they are brothers in reality, but they both are born to different mothers. In the Ramayana, they both are born to different mothers. Sumitranandan, Kausalyanandan. Lord Ram is the son of Dasharath and Kausalya. And Lakshman, he is born to a different wife of Dasharath. When it comes to Dwapar Yuga, Vasudev and Devaki's son is Devaki Nandan, Krishna. And Vasudev and Rohini Nandan is none other than Balaram. And even here, in Nityananda Prabhu's case, we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sachi Nandan. And similarly, Nityananda Prabhu chooses another mother. And hence we see that they both come from different mothers, but their love towards each other is supreme. Gaura cannot stay without Nitai, and Nitai cannot stay without Gaura. That is why early in the morning, when they step out of their houses and they step in to Mayapur, it is very important for us to remember how Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions them. And it is very apt that we speak about Bhaktivinoda Thakur because it is going to be his day tomorrow that is here. So what does he speak about? He speaks about the fact how great are Gaur and Nitai. How great are they? He mentions in the shloka. Udilo Aruna Purababhage Dvijamani Gora Amani Jage. Dvijamani. He says Dvija, the jewel of the twice born. Dvija money. They are the money. Money means the crushed jewel. Of whom? Dvija, who are twice born. Who are those? Lord Gaur Sundara. He actually woke up. But sometimes it's also said Dvija, that means two, the two crushed jewels. Though here it is really the twice born. But Lord Gaur Sundara is not going alone. Dvija mani gora amani jage bhakata samuha loiya sate gela nagara braje. Bhakata samuha, taking his devotees with him. Who are his devotees? His devotees are none other than Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, all these devotees. So Nitai does not stay away from Gaura. And hence Bhaktivinoda Thakur is beautifully mentioning them. In other places, it might be the day to day, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur's place is there. So this is very important for us to note. Once there was a brother of Krishna, I think a brother or cousin of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he was talking to his cousin, I think cousin or a brother, if my memory is correct. He was talking to his cousin. His name was Shyam Das. And Shyam Das mentioned that he is very attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has a lot of love towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. However, when he looks at Nityananda Prabhu, he somehow felt that he found that something was not right. He had a full faith in Lord Chaitanya, but he had only a dimmer of faith towards Lord Nityananda. And because this was there, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says his brother, Ramdas, he felt very unhappy. And he rebuked his younger brother. And what did he say? He said, Dhui bai ekatanu. Dhui bai ekatanu samana prakasha. He's saying Dhui bai, the two brothers. Dhui bai. Sometimes we laughingly joke, the place where I stay is called Dubai. But people call it as Dhui bai. Dhui bai means two brothers, Gaur and Nitai, Krishna and Balram together. Dhui bai, and this is the shloka for that. Dhui bai ekatanu samana prakasha. Nityananda namana tomara habe sarva nasha. He says, samana prakasha, they are equal manifestation. Nitai and Gaur are equal manifestation. He is rebuking his brother. Consider them as one body, ekatanu. The two brothers are one body and are of equal manifestation. Nityananda namana. If you do not believe, they are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, what will happen? Tomara habe sarvanasha. You will fall down. And hence, we have to consider them as together. In fact, he goes further to say, Ekete Vishwasa Anye na kare samana, Ardha Kukuti Nyaya Tomara Pramana. So when somebody says that I love Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much, but I cannot love Nityananda Prabhu, this is being shattered by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He's saying, Ekete Vishwasa. If you're having faith in Eka, that means if you have faith in Nitai but not in Gaura, or if you're having faith in Gaura but not in Nitai, Anye na kare samana. But if you are respecting one personality and if you are disrespecting another personality, this is like Ardha Kukuti Nyaya. Kukuti means hen. Ardha Kukuti Nyaya means we have all heard this story how a person brought a hen which used to lay a golden egg. And then there was an argument between the neighbor. The neighbor said, I will take the back side of the hen and you take the front side of the hen. And the front side of the hen has to eat to produce the egg. And whenever the egg was there, the neighbor would take the egg. And when the neighbor would take the egg, the owner of the hen, he would feel that I am only doing expense and I am not getting the fruit of the labor. So one day he chopped off the neck of the hen. But will the hen be alive? No. This is called as Ardha Kukuti Nyaya, the logic that I only need the golden eggs, I don't need to feed the hen. This is not palatable. This is not workable. This is not doable. And this is what it is being mentioned. Ekete Vishwasa Anye na kare samana Ardha Kukuti Nyaya Tomara Pramana. Your Pramana, Ramdas is saying, your Pramana is absolutely like accepting half a hen. Ardha means half, Kukuti Nyaya means half hen. And he concludes by saying, Kinvadona nana manina haotho pashanda ekamani arena mani e mata bhanda. He's saying it would be better. It would be better that if someone is turning into an atheist than saying that I am a devotee, I am a Gaudiya Vaishnava devotee, but I only accept either Chaitanya or Nitai. It is better to be an atheist than to be a hypocrite. This is the verdict. So it is very clear that one should accept both of them, because it is very clear in this verse that they cannot live without each other. They are very much connected with each other. Where there is Nitai, there is Gaura. Gaur bole Nitai den sakhala sambal. Ek baar deke chakshe jal, ek baar deke chakshe jal. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing, Ek baar dekhe chakshe jal. If once a little bit of tear is forming at the corner of the eyes, it is very difficult. Out of many, many emotions which are getting churned in the heart, sometimes we get a small bit of tear in the eyes. And what do? We get pride. We get proud. We become proud, thinking that, oh, other devotees don't have tears in the eyes. I have tears in the eyes. And if you have noticed, when somebody thinks like that, the tears immediately dry up. They don't fall on your eyelids. They don't trickle down on your cheeks. They don't touch the chin, and they don't wet the clothes that you are in with those tears. This doesn't happen. But the day we start thinking that I don't even know that I am crying, those tears will immediately roll and they will keep falling like a waterfall, and those cries will be going on and on and on and on. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not waiting for that. Nityananda Prabhu is not waiting for that. He's saying, even if one drop comes at the corner of the eye, that much is enough. Utna chalega. Ek baar and you don't have to do it again and again. Once, let it form in your lifetime. Once, while seeing the deities, while seeing Gaura, while seeing Nitai, the most munificent one, let it form once in the corner of the eye, says Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Ek baar dekhe chakshe jal, ek baar dekhe chakshe jal. Gaur bole nitai den sakala sambal. Gaur bole nitai den sakala sambal. Nityananda Mahaprabhu, he gives everything. Whatever you cannot even think of. Gaur bole nitai den sakala sambal. The Lord gives everything. Now one might be thinking, what is everything? Is he going to give Vaikuntha? Is he going to give something else? What is that he is going to give? What is that he is able to give? And the answer, Vrindavan Das Thakur itself says, Are bai nitai amar dayara abadi, jivera karuna kari deshe deshe firi firi. Amare Bhai Nitai Amar Dayara Avadi. He is an ocean of mercy and it is limitless. You cannot expect the limit of his mercy. Dayara Avadi he is limitless. What does he do? Jivera Karuna Kari Deshe Deshe Firi Firi. Jivera Karuna Kari. He actually pours his mercy by wandering village to village. But what does he do by going to village to village? Premadane yache nirabhadi. He actually gives the love of God to one and all. Vrindavan Das Thakur says, this is Sakala Sambal. This is what Lord Nityananda gives. He gives the love of Godhead to each and every single person. He doesn't check if one person is capable of receiving the love of Godhead. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to this world just to distribute the love of Godhead. So he also manifested. So here it is being said that Nityananda Prabhu was also wandering in Vrindavan. So a beautiful comparison is being made that Nityananda Prabhu, who is the supreme merciful, while he is wandering in Vrindavan, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has manifested. What happened next? Nirantara Sankirtana Paramananda Dukkha Paya Prabhu Na Dekhiya Nityananda. The Lord was constantly engaged in Sankirtana, in great happiness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was constantly engaged in Sankirtana. Yet he became unhappy on not seeing Nityananda. So this is real brotherly love. Lord Chaitanya wants to constantly see Nityananda. He was engaged in Sankirtan. He was getting the supreme transcendental bliss in Sankirtan. But still he wanted to see Nityananda. This is real brotherly love. So one person asked, why are they born in different mothers? Why can't they be born in same mother? So our acharyas explain very beautifully. It is seen that sometimes when brothers are born with the same mother, they fight a lot. They have feuds. They have fightings. They fight with each other. They create a lot of ruckus in the house. But hey, where is the proof of this? How are we saying this? In fact, our Shastras are the best example for this. We see Vali and Sugriv. They were both born to the same mother, but they were biggest of the fighters. So much so that one became the cause of death of the other. Through Lord Ramchandra, he employed a trick to kill his own brother. The other side, we see Kunti Maharani's two sons, Karna and Arjun. They fought like each other. They fought like anything against each other. And finally, Arjuna had to kill Karna in the battlefield. They were also of the same mother. Then we see Ravan and Vibhishan. They were also brothers. But we see that Vibhishana became one of the conduits for killing of Ravana. So it is seen that sometimes, even though the brothers are from the same mother, they will fight. Not necessarily always, but there are such examples. So Lord Nityananda is Lord Balram, Lakshman. They are like, we'll be taking birth through other mothers. But the bond between them is irrevocable. It's so wonderful. it's so much of depth in their relationship that both of them feel for each other. Both of them really miss each other. And here we see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was constantly and happily engaged in propagating the Sankirtana movement at Navadvip. But he was still feeling distress because Nityananda Prabhu was absent from that place. So this is the real love. And here the Lord is showcasing how we should love other devotees, how we should love Paramahamsa. To sustain in devotional service, we should be constantly associating with great Bhagavatas. Mahajanasya gatasya yena pantha. We should follow in the footsteps of the Mahajanas. To rise from the mediocrity of bhakti, we have to constantly associate with a person who is very much engaged in the bhajan of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and constantly thinking about engaging in the service of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showcasing it here very beautifully, that he is enjoying the highest bliss in the Sankirtan, but still he is feeling distress. Why? Because he's not feeling the association. He's not getting the association of Nityananda Prabhu. So he's feeling the absence of Nityananda Prabhu. So when this was happening, what was happening in the heart of Nityananda Prabhu? Why he was creating this delay? Why was he not coming to Navadvip and meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That secret is being revealed next. Nityananda jani lena prabhura prakasha ye avadi lagi kare vrindavane vasha. He was waiting, and Nityananda Mahaprabhu understood that the Lord had manifested himself. Krishna has arrived as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had waited in Vrindavan for this moment. So the Lord was waiting for the opportune moment. The phrase ye avadi lagi means he was waiting for the auspicious moment. This is very important for us to know. Again, waiting for the auspicious moment. There are indications, there are signs, and it is a supreme science. And this Nimitta Shastra has to be learned. These auspicious omens have to be learned. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned many times that there are books which are mentioning about these auspicious omens, and an expert person in astrology, in the Vedic science, can read these books and understand what are these auspicious moments. And these nimittas, they actually tell us what is going to happen, what is really going to happen. So one can read the nimitta and get to know. Just like in Ramayana, Dasharath, while the marriage was finished between Lord Ramchandra and Sita, while he was about to step outside the house, he suddenly saw a meteor falling from the sky. And there were some eagles, which were not eagles, maybe vultures or somebody who were circling around. Generally, this is considered as a bad omen. Unless and until in Bollywood movies nowadays, they show as if a meteor is falling, then the lovers will close their eyes and wish for something as if it is a very great sight. And they will wish that, oh, let us be together for long living. But actually in the Shastras, it is mentioned that seeing a meteor fall is actually very inauspicious because it causes destruction. It brings a foreign invasion species on earth. So it causes destruction on earth, on the peaceful existence of earth. So this is considered to be very inauspicious. So Dasharath Maharaj, knowing this Nimitta Shastra, he was feeling what is going to happen. And at the same time, he saw a deer run from left to right, swiftly. And he understood, okay, this is a good omen and that is a bad omen. So there is a bad omen, there is a good omen. What am I supposed to understand? So he inquired to his spiritual master, Vashishta. And Vashishta said, you are right. You have observed a bad omen. The meteor is falling. At the same time, you have found a good omen. The deer is swiftly crossing from left to right. He said, but what does this indicate? He said, a great danger is going to come your way, but it will swiftly go away. The deer shows that the danger will swiftly pass. And as the minute Vashishta finished his narration that this is what is going to happen, a great thunderstorm, a great whirlwind started forming at the horizon, and came walking thunderously was none other than Parashuram. He immediately caught hold of the yoke of the chariot and he challenged Ram. So this was almost the death which was coming at the doorstep. But we all know the beautiful narration of how Parashuram was conquered by Lord Ramchandra. And this entire episode, which came knocking at the doors, went away swiftly. So this great Nimitta Shastra is to know about such auspicious moments. Of course, in Kali Yuga, we cannot understand these. Not many are very capable of understanding this Nimitta Shastra. But we should understand that the great signs existed. And the Lord of all the universe, they are fully resplendent, and at the same they are fully knowledgeable of all the Shastras. In fact, Nityananda Mahaprabhu is the source of all the Shastras. And hence he knew what is the auspicious moment when Krishna is going to appear. And he patiently waited. He waited, he did not jump the gun. He waited for that moment. And when that moment came, he immediately rushed to Navadvip. Janiya aila jata Navadipa pure, Ashiyara hila Nandana Acharya gare. He went to the house of Nandana Acharya immediately, and he stayed at the house of Nandana Acharya. Now this Nandana Acharya's house is a great place of hiding. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes he would hide in Nandana Acharya's house. And many of the devotees would hide in Nandana Acharya's house. And hence this Nandana Acharya's house is a very great spot. Even today, when we take a walk down Mayapur, we can see this place of first meeting of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. It's a great place of worship where two brothers actually met. So this Nandana Acharya's house is seen as a place of hiding. But who came there? Nityananda Mahaprabhu came there. And afterwards, what did he do? Nandanacharya Mahabhagavato Tama Dekhi Maha Tejo Rasi Yena Surya Sama. Nandanacharya was a Mahabhagavata. He saw that bodily effulgence of Nityananda was equal to the sun. Now, this is the luster of Nityananda Prabhu. And let's first read the short purport. The topmost Uttama Adhikaris are pure devotees of the Lord. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarva Bhuteshu Yah Pashyed Bhagavad Bhamam Atmanaha Bhutani Bhagavata Atmani Esho Bhagavatotmaha. The most advanced devotee sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understands that everything that exists is eternally situated within the Lord. Now, this is very, very important for us to understand. What are the eyes? What are the vision? What is the vision of a Uttama Bhagavata? When Sanatana Goswami asked to explain the Atma Rama Shloka, when he asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please explain me this Atma Rama Shloka, the first thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I am actually a madman. And I stay with Sarabhaum, and he's also a madman. We were just rambling with each other, and some meanings, we just spoke 16, 17 meanings. Sanatana Goswami said, no, you have to tell me. Please, you are capable of telling more meanings. Please tell me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, actually, I am not capable of telling the meanings of this Atma Rama Chamuneya Shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. But Sanatana Goswami, because you are giving me the association, because of this association, I will be able to tell you. The Lord is being so humble. He is giving the association of Sanatana Goswami such a high pedestal, and is saying, because of this association, I will be able to tell you. And he gave 61 different meanings of Atmarama Shloka. In the 19th Shloka, in the 19th explanation of this Atmarama, he says Atmarama Eva. He uses the word Atma to understand and to explain to us that it is the characteristic of every jiva, whether it is movable or immovable, eva, to do bhakti. And a person who can see this is a Mahabhagavata. Whether be it a bird, whether be it an animal, whether be a human being, whether it is a tree, whether it is a flower, whether it is a grass, whether it is a dust particle, every sentient jiva, whether it is a worm, insect, everybody can do Krishna Bhakti. And a Mahabhagavata actually sees it in this way. And this is what is being mentioned here as well. It is being mentioned here that being the foremost of such liberated souls, the Mahabhagavata, Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the origin of all pure devotees of the Lord. So Nandana Acharya, he was such a great Mahabhagavata, he could understand the personality who has arrived at their house is a great Mahabhagavata. And why? Because of his spiritual illumination. The reflection of his bodily effulgence revives the constitutional position of the living entities, which is to strike the Krishna Prem within the heart, to understand that we are constitutionally the part and parcel of Krishna. Those who are under his shelter can also have similar effulgence. This is not only to the Lord's associates can also have similar effulgence, says Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the material conception of life, there is absence of spiritual effulgence. Until one achieves spiritual realization, he cannot be freed from the contamination of forgetting his real identity. When the spiritual effulgence that emanates from Nityananda and destroys the darkness of ignorance enters the heart of a person, it vanquishes the darkness of ignorance. Such a beautiful purport where he says, Nityananda Mahaprabhu's effulgence itself can stimulate within the heart and make us remember that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And not only his, those who are under the shelter can also have this kind of effulgence. But how big is this effulgence? Narottam Das Thakur says, Nitai pada kamala Koti Chandra Sushistala. Nitai pada kamala Koti Chandra Sushistala. Je chaya jagate jura. Je chaya jagate jura. Nitai pada kamala. Forget about the whole bodily effulgence of the Lord. Let us just talk about the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda's lotus feet are a shelter where one will get soothing moonlight. Okay, you'll get one moonlight. No. Koti Chandra Sushistala. Koti Chandra, not of one moon, not of two moons, not of three moons, but of millions of moons. Not suns, moons, because it is very sheetal. Sushistala. It is very sheetal. It is very warming to the heart. It is giving shelter to the heart. Not one, not two, millions of moons is the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. If the world wants to have real peace, Jechaya Jagate Jurai. Jechaya Jagate Jurai. If the world wants peace, they should take shelter of Nityananda Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. This is what Vrindavan Thakur is saying. But my dear Vrindavan Das Thakur, by taking the shelter of Nityananda Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, what is that we are going to get? Heno nitai bhine bhai Radha Krishna paite nai हेनो निताय बीने भाई राधा कृष्ण पाइते ना दृढ़ करी धरो निताय पाय दृढ़ करी धरो निताय पाय. Such a wonderful song where he says, Heno Nitai Bine Bai. If you think that you cannot, you don't want to take shelter of Lord Nityananda. I don't want to take. If you're thinking like that, if you are a Pashkhandi like that, if you are thinking like that, then let me tell you, you cannot approach Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna paite nai. You will not get Radha and Krishna. But if you want to enter into the supreme leelas and activities of Radha and Krishna, in fact, not to see Radha and Krishna, if you want to enter into the dancing party of Radha and Krishna, if you want to enter into the dancing party of Radha and Krishna, what should you do? Drida kari dharo nitair pai. Drida karo, with firm resolute, with a firm resolution, hold and catch hold and firmly catch hold, not loosely, firmly catch hold of lotus feet of Nityananda Mahaprabhu. Then one can get the entry into the dancing parties of Radha and Krishna. So such is the effulgence, Koti Chandra Sushistala. And Mahabhagavata Nandan Acharya could actually see this. And he knew that such a person has arrived who has the bodily effulgence which was equal to the sun. But it was so warming to the heart, says Vrindavan Das Thakur. So here there is a comparison of sun. Here there is a comparison of moon, his lotus feet. So how effulgent Nityananda Mahaprabhu will be, we can just imagine. How great it will be. And then he says, Maha avaduta vesha prakhanda sharira nirvadigha bhirata dekhi mahadhira. Though he was such a great personality and he was having such a great effulgence, he appeared as a great avadhuta with a large body. He was always grave and most sober. Now, this word avadhuta is very important because Nityananda's one of the name is called as Avadhuta Shiromani. He is the crest jewel of all avadhutas. In his 12 names also, he is called as Avadatendur, Nityanando, Avadatendur, Vasudha Prana Vallabha, Janavi Jivita Pati, Krishna Prema Prada Prabhu. So, Avadatendur, he is an Avadhuta. Who is an Avadhuta? An Avadhuta is one who does not follow the social norms and regulations. Sometimes he will be not materially well kept, well dressed. He will not see socially what is correct, what is not. He'll be constantly engaged in Krishna's service and he will be almost connecting on a daily basis to the spiritual world. He will be above the material norms of moral and morality. Sometimes his vesha will not be good. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many examples of such avadhutas. In the first canto, we can see the example of Shukdev Goswami. He is considered as an avadhuta because he wears an avadhuta vesha. His vesha is different. Nityananda Prabhu is another avadhuta. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the second mention is about Vidura. When Vidura goes for his pilgrimage and he comes back, he's materially not very well kept. So his appearance is also considered as avadhuta. Then Jada Bharatha and Lord Rishabdev, they both, in the 5th canto, it is mentioned that they are also in the Avadhuta Vesha. They are also not very well kept. Then we have examples of Dattatreya in the 11th canto. He is also not very well kept. So such great personalities are mentioned. Even King Chitraketu once speaks about how the Avadutas and liberated personalities, they come only to raise awareness of others. So Nityananda Mahaprabhu is also like that Avaduta. Sudama Brahmana was called as Avaduta because of again his appearance. And Maharaj Yadu saw Dattatreya once and he was also an Avaduta. But of all the crest jewel of Avadutas, Nityananda Mahaprabhu is the best. Of all the Avadutas, the crest jewel is Nityananda Mahaprabhu. And he appears as a sannyasi. Only those who have attained perfection in the sannyasa order of life have naturally become indifferent to external renunciation, are known as Avadutas. Many people are bewildered on seeing Avadutas, disdain for external signs. When a strict sannyasi attains perfection in the sannyasa order, he becomes renowned as a sannyasi or an Avaduta. So Sri Nityananda Prabhu is the topmost of such Avadutas. His gravity and extreme patience were observed by Nandanacharya. So Nandanacharya saw that Nityananda Prabhu was very patient. He was very effulgent. Many people cannot understand Nityananda Prabhu. Sometimes he will dance, sometimes he will cry. Sometimes he will act like a drunkard. And sometimes he will just take his dhoti and he will be immediately naked and he will tie the dhoti on his head. Not many people will understand his motives. And many people will doubt, like how Shyamdas doubted. But it is said that one should not be doubting such a great personality like Nityananda Prabhu. It is possible that conflicts or conflicting activities can be present in an entity. Just like fire. In the fire, you can put even a pig's meat or a crow's flesh, and the fire will be still not polluted. Similarly, putrid water can enter Ganges, but Ganges is not polluted. The sun's rays can enter and purify even fecal matter, but sun's rays is not impure. It remains pure. The moon, who is known as Dvijaraj, one who is known as the king of the Dvijas, even moon's rays enter into the houses of Shudras. So such contrast does exist. If one cannot understand such a thing, then how is it possible that we try to find out contrasts in the Supreme Lord? So Nityananda Mahaprabhu has a lot of contrasts. But in the sadhaka stage, we should read about his merciful nature. And as we progress in spiritual life, we should understand how he is an Avaduta and how he acts as per his position. So the final shloka for today, I don't think so we'll be able to take text 127. Ahara nishana vadane bhalya Krishna nama tribhuvane advitiya chaitanyera dhama. What was his qualification? Nityananda Mahaprabhu, he always chanted Krishna's names day and night. He was the abode of Lord Chaitanya, incomparable within the three worlds. What was the duty of Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? They were always singing the glories of the Lord. They were always chanting the names of the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur very beautifully says, what does he say? He says in his bhajan, Namashraya kare jatane tumi. No, he says, Nama bina kichu nahi ko ara chaudha bhuvana majhe. There is nothing except holy name, which is very beautiful. There is nothing higher than the holy names which are available in the all 14 worlds, says Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And it is these beautiful holy names that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are both saying, and they are chanting constantly. These holy names are very, very wonderful. In Padyavali, there is a verse, Ka pareta nagari purandaraha, Ka pareta nagari purandaraha, Ko bhaved atat tadiya kinkaraha, Krishna nama jagadeka mangalam, Antaphitam urari karoti chet. Ananda Acharya says, Who is the Lord of the city of death? Kaha pareta nagari purandaraha. In Purandara, in the city of death, who is the person who is ruling this kingdom? Who is the Lord? Ko bhaved atat tadiya kinkara. And what is that we have to do with his kinkara? These Yama kinkaras, these messengers of death. What is that we have to do with them? And other person asks, why are you saying like this? Krishna nama jagadeka mangalam kantaphitam urari karoti chet. What is that we have to worry about when we have given a golden seat to Krishna's holy name, and we have given that seat of honor or in our throats, and we are constantly singing the names of Krishna? Then it is the most auspicious thing in the world. Why we have to worry about the Lord of death? Why we have to worry about who is the Lord of death and what are his messengers? Rupa Goswami is writing this verse in his Padyavali, keeping it close to his heart. Every day I will read this and get inspired to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they are constantly chanting names of Krishna day and night. And he was the abode of Lord Chaitanya, incomparable within the three worlds. In these two words of three worlds, I also like to remember Lord Vamana today, who was capable of measuring all the three worlds. Trivikrama is what he is called. Very funnily, I met an ISRO scientist, and he was saying that we were successful in landing in moon in the third time. So I was asking him, do you know why? Of course, all the great glories to all the scientists who have done the great work and they have achieved a great feat. And they have sent a mechanical instrument to the southern pole of the moon. Very great scientific achievement, not done before. Okay. But I was asking him, do you know why it was a success? He said, yeah, a lot of efforts. I said, it's also in the naming of the mission. He said, what do you mean? I said, you sent the first one, not a success much. Pragyan went, but then it was not a success. The second one, not a success. The third one, you said Chandrayaan 3, and you named the rover as Vikram. So you put 3 and Vikram, Trivikram. Anyway, the Lord Trivikrama has reached all the three worlds. Moon is nothing, he will reach. So the naming of according to me, the naming of the satellite, that itself has to gain its glory, so it went. Of course, this is just a humorous take on the point, but it is Lord Vamana who measured all the three worlds with his steps. And we also remember Jiva Goswami today. And we pray to all the acharyas and these Vaishnava Tithis that let us also get the Kataksha. Let us also get the beautiful glance of Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu. And let us also glorify the holy name of the Lord. And let us also get the real purports of these verses of Chaitanya Bhagavat which are given to us. And how did Nityananda Prabhu act? That will be taken by the next speaker. Sometimes he rode loudly in his own ecstasy. He appeared greatly intoxicated, and he was just like the incarnation of Balram. So this is the great position of Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Adi Guru, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very eager to meet him. He has appeared in Nandana Acharya's house. We can meditate in this way. And tomorrow when we come back for Chaitanya Bhagavat, we will see what great glories both the brothers will achieve together. So we'll wait for that tomorrow with the new speakers who will speak about this topic. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yadastas kalitam kinchit vidhvam satpurayantu tat yadattat saustubam kinchit tat guru reva me nahi. If you found any mistakes in this rendition, you're all vidhwans, you're all learned devotees, seniors to me. So please correct them. And if you found something good, the shreyas of all that goes to my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada and all the Siksha Gurus and all of you devotees who have been kindly extending your realizations through this venue. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, comments, critiques, feedbacks, more than happy, I can welcome them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a beautiful, beautiful class about Krishna and Balaram, Lord Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rama, Lakshman. So many nice comparisons. Very beautiful, Prabhu. I don't have any questions, but we have raised hands. Gaurangi Mataji, Gail Mataji, please go ahead.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you
Hare
for the
Krishna.
class. Yeah, a couple things. One is, I wonder why so many devotees chose Nandacharya's home in which to hide. What was it about his place?
Okay. So here, Srila Prabhupada, I will follow the reason which is given here. I'm going to go to that section. I'm just going to share my screen. And the answer is given then and there itself. So let me just, this is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Khanda 10.39. So here it says, Nandana Acharya Sakha Jagate Vidita Lukhaiya Duya Prabhure Yanre Ghare Sita. The Nandanacharya, the 17th branch of the Chaitanya tree, is celebrated within the world because the two Prabhus, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, sometimes hid in this house. So one of the reasons is he was a very close companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his Kirtan pastimes. Srila Nityananda Prabhu, as Avaduta, traveled on many, and when he used to come to Navadvip Dham, he remained hidden in the house of Nandanacharya. So it was like a central place. And also when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his Mahaprakash, he asked Ramai Pandit to call Advaita Prabhu, who was hiding in the home of Nandanacharya. So it was like a central place. Sometimes you have some locations which are central. And of course, one of the reason is he was a Mahabhagavata. To witness and also to participate and also to see and also be a part of the Leela, one has to be a very Uttama Adhikari. Nandanacharya was one. And hence, they always hid in his house. Advaitacharya hid in his house. Ramai Pandit was asked to go and call Advaitacharya from his house. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hid in his house. Nityananda Prabhu stayed at his house. So he was a Mahabhagavata. That is the reason given. Unless if anybody else has any other reason, they can share.
What were some of those other devotees you said hid in his house besides Nityananda? Was also who?
Advaitacharya also hid in his house, is what is mentioned here.
Uh-huh. So
There.
it was a central place because that's where kirtans would often happen. Or
Geographically, if we see from Srivas Pandit's place, when nocturnal kirtans used to happen, Srivas Angan, it was just down the road.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's what would make me think that, you know, why not his place as a hiding place? I don't know. Anyway.
No idea. Mahaprabhu's wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, actually it's interesting you mentioned Srivas Thakur's place because I was thinking about his place as like one of the central meeting points. So I didn't know that the two Vaishnavas' homes were so close together. Srivas Acharya and Nandacharya, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just one other thing, Prabhu, is you know, we were talking about hypocrite before, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I think of hypocrite, the meaning that comes to my mind is a person who says one thing, yet does something different. So it wasn't so clear to me how this word applied to those who appreciate Lord Chaitanya, but they don't appreciate Lord Nityananda. I mean, I understand that, and I guess in terms of tattva, they're basically the same person, but I just find it a strange word to apply to those who appreciate one and not the other.
So the application of hypocrite here is not for accepting Nityai and rejecting Chaitanya or vice versa. The application of hypocrite here is for bhakti. If one says, I have bhakti, and one says that I like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he hates Nityananda Prabhu, then that is against bhakti. So he's acting against bhakti. So he's saying, I like bhakti, I like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he hates Nityananda Prabhu means he is going away from bhakti. That is not possible. He's depicting an atheistic behavior while exhibiting he is having bhakti. That is not acceptable.
I see. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Any other question?
Is there anybody having any more questions? I really like that one, Prabhuji. Dubai, Dui Desh.
Dui Bai.
Dui Bai, okay, sorry. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Okay.
So here one time when Guru Maharaj was in Dallas, one of the small kid was like Sam's Club, right? It's not Sam's Clubs, it's Sham's Club.
Yes.
It is like small kids also takes so much of, because Guru Maharaj always like when someone is wearing Gap, Govinda Madhi Purisham, like that, right? I was remembering Guru Maharaj when you are telling all that.
Yes.
That kid was really awesome. Whenever I go to now Sam's Club, it's not Sam's Club, it's Sham's Club.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, it is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj who coined this term of Dubai as Dui Bai. That's not me.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, is there anybody having any more questions, realizations?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. A detailed, wonderful class. I don't have any question also, but I like the point which lastly you said about the Chandrayaan 3 Vikrama. So that was very short and sweet also about 3 Vikrama. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. It's just a humorous take, nothing else.
Thank you so much. Very, very nice class as always. You can, I don't know, my voice might not be clear, but thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
And today we are celebrating Bhakti Vinod Thakur's appearance day, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Very wonderful. We should sing more songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur today, and we should be inspired by his activities. So wish you all a very happy Holy Name week and tasks ahead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
No more questions. Back to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for such a beautiful class. And there are no more questions. So I would like to end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo nama. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you, Prabhu, once again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for the class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's class. We'll close the call for today.
Thank you.